Get ready for a jaw-dropping, heart-stopping tale of sheer terror and bravery. In the wild, unpredictable waters of the Congo, one courageous adventurer meets a horrifying fate as he fights against the powerful forces of nature. Brace yourselves, because this is the chilling story of how a crocodile consumed a man alive while kayaking. Hendri Coetzee was a rock star in the adventure community. He hailed from South Africa, and by 2010, at just 35 years old, he was already a force to be reckoned with. He first made waves in 2004 when he led an expedition down the Nile River from its source to the sea. The amazing feat was inspired by John Goddard, the first person to navigate the entire length of the Nile River in a kayak. While some critics claim that Coetzee's expedition didn't start from the true source of the Nile, he refused to be discouraged. Instead, he embarked on a second leg of the journey from Kagera to Lake Victoria in April 2005, covering a whopping 4,600 miles. Coetzee's dedication paid off, and his first expedition was a roaring success. In December 2010, Hendri Coetzee was leading a groundbreaking expedition into the Democratic Republic of Congo with Ben Stooksbury and Chris Corbillick by his side. The trio was on a mission to document the whitewater of the White Nile and Congo, bring attention to the devastating clean water crisis affecting millions in the region, and be the first to navigate the Lakuga River's whitewater. But Coetzee had another goal in mind. He wanted to show his companions the region's incredible beauty, from the snow-capped peaks to the deepest, darkest, and steamiest jungles. He also wanted to prove that the Western media had it all wrong about the area being one of the most dangerous places on Earth. Instead, he wanted to highlight the hospitable people, breathtaking nature, and immense beauty of the region. The Lakuga River, a tributary of the Lakuga River, was home to many wildlife, including hippos and crocodiles. Coetzee was well aware of the potential dangers in the river and warned Stooksbury and Corbillick about the risks. He instructed them to avoid the banks where crocs often sunbathe and to steer clear of eddies, where dangerous hippos wallowed underwater. Coetzee also taught his team to tap their boots to make noise, an additional precaution to deter potential predators. The men paddled close together in a formation to further ensure their safety, and so the adventure began on the Lakuga River on December 7, 2010. The adventurers had just accomplished a feat that no one had ever done, navigating the unnavigable portion of the river. They had paddled over 30 miles of rough whitewater and felt confident in their skills. The sight of 3 small crocodiles didn't scare them. They were in formation and had just emerged victorious after navigating the last stretch of the rapids. Now, they were enjoying a peaceful change of pace as they paddled through calm, flat waters. The beautiful scenery and lush elephant grass on the banks were a sight to behold, but they had to stay focused and keep in a formation to avoid many mishaps. As they paddled, Corbillick took a quick glance to ensure that they were not paddling towards or away from each other. It was during this moment that he witnessed a terrifying incident. Suddenly, a massive crocodile emerged from the water and clamped down on Coetzee's left shoulder with its huge jaws. The crocodile's jaws were so large that they could encompass the man's entire torso. There was no time to react or do anything as Coetzee shouted, "Oh my God!" and was pulled under the water by the animal. The kayak was nearly submerged, and the overturned boat shook for approximately 20 seconds as the crocodile dragged Coetzee from the cockpit. In an instant, Coetzee vanished, never to be seen again. Stooksbury and Corbillick remained motionless for several anxious minutes, shocked by what they had witnessed. Finally, the 2 men came to their senses and were able to act again. Realizing that the crocodile could return at any moment and that they were defenseless against it, Stooksbury and Corbillick knew that they had to leave the river quickly. They paddled about a mile downstream to a nearby village where they spoke to the locals, attempting to explain what had happened. As they were talking, they noticed Henri's kayak floating downstream. Although Stooksbury and Corbillick went after the boat, there was no indication of Henri's struggle. Upon their return to the village, the 2 men begged the villagers to help them search for Hendri, but the locals refused, knowing all too well the danger involved. Sadly, Enrique was gone, and he was not the first victim of the 15-foot, 2-ton crocodile that had already taken the lives of 9 people. Ben Stooksbury and Chris Corbillick were devastated. After spending weeks with Coetzee, Stooksbury and Corbillick agreed that this was the strongest team they had ever been a part of. The International Rescue Committee evacuated the 2 men, and they had to come to terms with what had happened. Although it was one of their most terrifying and painful experiences, the expedition had also been enlightening. Looking back, Stooksbury recalled how the night before the incident had been one of the most beautiful nights of his life. They had all huddled together under a tarp on a beach, enjoying the rain and each other's company. They had been overwhelmed by the beauty of the place, and the sudden attack of the crocodile came as a shock. The village where they had stopped offered a small reward for any information about Hendri Coetzee, but nothing was ever found, not even a single piece of clothing. A memorial service was held for Coetzee on January 28, 2011. Hendri was a humble man who never boasted about his accomplishments or adventures and was remembered fondly by his loved ones. He is still celebrated as one of the greatest river explorers in recent history. So that's it for today. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button to get all the latest updates.